Welcome back to Out There, live TV, live documentaries, live stories. Again, you choose whichever you want that to be. And you were with us here today on episode 6 of the life story of the amazing, the beautiful, the wonderful Sian Elizabeth Faire. And it's been hugely powerful. If you were only just joining on episode 6, please go back to episode 1, follow the story right through. You will need to. And there are so many golden nuggets for everybody to experience, learn and appreciate from your beautiful life story. We left episode 5 with this cliffhanger of not really knowing what we were going into episode 6 with. Because of the anxiety of basically the realization that the cycle that you've been in up to this given point in life has to be managed or come to a finish at some, because you have no option because of the realization of it being played out over and over. Yeah. I can feel the apprehension here, but let me start this. So I call this life chapter the emotional divorce. So thinking back to the episode 5, of course, there are many directions you could choose to move forward now. You could stay within status quo and say, do you know what, guys? I'm not ready yet to jump into the swimming pool and just bob around for an hour and not challenge myself to having to do 20 lengths at the pace of this, to think about fitness before fun. You could say to myself, I'm going to remain within what is the cycle of you do whatever you need and I will follow on. Or I'm going to remain owning the guilt that I own from those I feel I haven't done enough for. Or challenge myself to my next certification in my academic heart. You could fall back to type. Status quo is different. Back to type means that you may say, okay, no more academia, but guess what? I'm still going to camouflage my cycle and keep using it. You could break the life story into chunks and strategize each direction. Effectively chunk it down and say, okay, let me work out first my first 10 years, then my 20 years, and see how that plays out. You could put in place the tools for absolute embrace and change. These are all choices that you, not mom, not dad, not Diego, not his son Nathan, nobody is in charge of these choices now. This is your life story. Let's think, which direction? What is important? Have you ever thought, not what is important for me to achieve, what is important for me in my heart? What is important? What is purposeful for you, Sian Faire?
So my goal has always been to be happy. But then my question then is, how? What does that look like? And the other big thing is that I don't want Nathan to go through what I've gone through. So it's really important to break the cycle so that I don't pass it on.
Happiness. Is happiness a measure, fun, expectation? What does happiness feel like to you?
I don't know, because what is love? What is happiness? And so I don't know. Are they philosophical questions? I don't really know. But they, for me, they are unknowns.
Wow.
So when someone says to me, define what that is, or I can't. And maybe that is my scientific background, that whole, I'm very black and white, there's right and wrong. And over the years, doing different things, I've like when I studied marketing, the fact that you could argue anything was right as long as you could have a good argument, I really struggled with that because I'm used to it like there's a right answer and a wrong answer. Science has got right and wrong, maths has got right and wrong. And so as soon as it becomes something that's hard to define, or probably a personal definition rather than a set definition, it's really hard for me to work out, because it is actually, I'm looking for the answer from outside when the answer is inside.
Now then, that's something you didn't share with us 4 episodes ago. That you're saying the answers from inside.
Yeah, I look for it outside, but the real answer is inside. But I'm always searching for it outside.
Wow. When you think about your day in current time, your work day, your personal day, are there points in that day where you recognize, wait, that's not my thought, that's a thought that I'm having to put in place in order to make those other people feel good about me? Are there thoughts where I'm looking for the measure of, actually, do you know what, I don't care about what they think, this is mine, this is who I am. Does that even live in your space?
So I've got a client that I'm working with at the moment, and I need them to do work so I can do work. And they're not being as forthcoming as I'd hoped, which makes it harder for me to do my job. And I keep putting it back onto me that maybe it's something that I need to look at. I need to work out, what am I not doing? How do I need to change?
Wow, that's a huge statement. That's basically what we're looking at is, what do I need to change in myself for the world to see me? For people to do well, how do I need to change?
Yeah, I mean, part of it is, I don't know, so when I work for my clients, I'm improving their businesses, and that's why they've got me on board, is because they need to change something, they need to improve something. Yet I seem to have it at higher importance than they do. Because I'm like, if it was really important, if I needed something from you to be able to help you improve your business, I expect that you're going to do that for me as soon as possible so that I can do what I need to do so I can improve your business. If you don't give me what I need, then that means it's not actually as important as you've made out to me, because you're not prioritizing it.
Isn't that something that your dad would do? Isn't that your dad's philosophy? Would it have been your dad's philosophy?
What, that if I don't...
Well, what you're doing is you present me, okay, Paul, I need you to do this for you to do better.
Yeah.
Once you do that, I can then measure that, and then we can do that again. And basically, I guess I'm simplifying it.
Yeah.
Because it didn't really answer the question.
Oh, there's a surprise.
And I want to go back to, you're now in the place of, and if you're watching this, you may think, God, he's doubling back again. And yes, I am doubling back again, because there were choices here. And this is your life story. And the next 20 years is your life.
Yeah.
What do you want emotionally for yourself? And I'm not talking about rewards, I'm not talking about business, but for yourself. So for me, what I want emotionally is to actually feel fuller within myself as a person, which means to appreciate love, fun, freedom.
Yeah.
Those 3 for me are important. And I can only do that through my own, I suppose, confidence, worth myself.
I
How
want
do
to
you
be
feel?
happy.
You want to be happy.
Yeah. But then I don't know how to find it.
Yeah, and when we think about happiness, it's a different shape for everybody.
Yeah.
It really is. What do you feel was the stop? What do you feel stopped happiness for you in your life?
Whatever I do, it's not good enough.
So everything you've done in life was a measure to improve.
So whatever I did, I could always do better.
Which removed happiness.
Yeah, because there was never any celebration. So I got 8 A's and a B at GCSE, and my parents had the B remarked.
Wow.
There was only one person that got better GCSEs in my year of 120 girls. Yet I don't really ever feel like anyone celebrated it, because the focus was on the B.
But that's not, even if it was, it wouldn't be happiness. That's just an achievement. Happiness is an organic event that happens in life that promotes to ourselves the goodness of who we are, not the achievement of who we are. Would you say then, and you've expressed that happiness is something that has never been there in its organic human sense, truest feeling?
Yeah, I'm not really, I say, I don't really know how to describe it to know if I've ever felt it.
Wow. In our sort of research calls coming up to this episode here, we talked about different tools that would you felt would fit you, and these tools we want to bring in because it's so important. And one of them was for your personal life. We talked about this tool, which was feel it, understand it, move from it. And for yourself, it's like implementing a tool in that allows you to manage out of. Because I want to come back to, and I'm bouncing you a little, and I apologize because it's quite technical. Is your plan to say, Paul, I'm divorcing this, I'm done? Is your plan to, I'm going to manage it? Is it your plan to, I am what I am?
I want to divorce it because it hasn't served me, and I want to make where I am now work. So I have to divorce the cycle, because otherwise what I have now is going to fold.
Because you are a successful entrepreneur, you have your businesses, you are a mom, and of course you live in 2 countries, and you have property and all these things. To divorce something means that you sever the emotion that the cycle belonged to. And it's quite extreme, but very doable. We all divorce habits through life. Do you feel that the feel it, understand it, move from it tool is the answer to that? I mean, what do you feel you want to put in place?
So I need to be more present. So what we've talked about is always that I'm planning the next step. When before going to university, I'm thinking about the career, not university. When I was at university and people asked what I was going to be doing in 10 years, I said I was going to be married with a family. Like most other people were talking about what they'd be doing in their business life. And it's like, I'm always thinking of the next step, but not being present in the moment. Whereas obviously I have done like yoga training. I've also studied some mindfulness, and obviously all that is about being in the present and living in the now.
Yeah.
And that's really, I need to stop thinking about the future quite so much and trying to plan everything out to the nth degree as I do. There's no try about it, I do. You know, like the first time I got married, I had an 18-month project plan for it. You know,
Wow.
yeah. You know, if you can plan it, I plan it.
Yeah.
So, but I don't spend enough time in the now to really enjoy it and be present to then be able to make that work.
Yeah.
And let it evolve.
Wow.
Rather than keep repeating my cycles because I'm planning it.
Yeah. I mean, let's you know, again, it's your life story, but let's put something in place then.
Yeah.
You know, let's put a plan in place. So you're saying, okay, Paul, do you know what? I'm gonna move forward. I'm gonna understand what it feels like to be in the present. It's not easy, you know. We're, as a AAA type personality and as an entrepreneur, as you are a driver. We just want to keep moving forward. That's the nature of who we are. But also, if we don't appreciate our journey and understand the value of our journey, we are pushing forward to remove hurt rather than moving forward and monetizing our past, which is hugely important as an entrepreneur. So,
yeah, I think, I mean, one of the things, and I say it to so many people about, you know, where, you know, like the whole thing, like yoga is a journey, you know, life is a journey. It's not a destination yet. If I'm not careful, I build my life as a series of destinations.
yeah. Oh, wow. Wow. Well, let's do this. You fill us here with what you want the outcome to be now for the next 12 months, and we will revisit this. So what's your thoughts on the next 12 months for yourself in this removal, the divorce, which is what you chose, of your cycle?
It's about being more present with Diego when I'm with Diego, and using the time when I am in the UK to really focus on my business so that they can work together more, it just together better, rather than it being feeling like I'm escaping one to go to the other. Like when life gets too difficult in the UK, and I've had enough of decluttering my mum, all the stuff that I've brought from my mum and dad's house from my childhood. You know, when that all gets too much, then I want to run back to Gran Canaria. When it all gets too much in Gran Canaria, I want to run back here.
Yeah.
And rather than feeling that I'm running away, I want it to feel much more like, well, I'm going back to Gran Canaria and this is what I'm going to be present there and to enjoy it and get this out of it. And then when I come back to the UK, that actually, yes, I'm here and it's my time that I really focus on my business. And so I do only work part-time. I do have a lifestyle business that means that I don't work a 40-hour week. You know, I work when I want. But when I'm in the UK, I do put in that extra effort to build the business to then turn over when I'm in Gran Canaria to enjoy the rest of my life, which is what I've chosen.
Wow. Do you feel that this may be the first time in your life that you own your own thoughts, your own direction, as a whole, not just business?
Yeah, I mean, I thought 10 years ago when I moved out to Gran Canaria, I thought I was, you know, doing my own direction, but I wasn't. And I've let circumstances dictate a lot.
Yeah.
and habits as well. So what I need now is to break the habits that don't serve me.
Wow.
So, and really ensure that I do what I need to do for my best future when I'm in each place, which builds like the complete life.
Yeah. Wow. You know, Sian, this has been absolutely beautiful. There's been so many insights from these episodes on this life story, your life story. Academically Pointless is such a powerful title because academia is seen as what is a tool to success, but also here, the highest levels of academia, you know, the university you went to, the kudos and all these things has not really played any benefit other than understanding that you can learn at a level where most people cannot. But you had to learn. You had no choice but to learn. And that was your survival tool. My survival tool was not to learn. Do you see, we're both good at what we're good at. It's been so insightful, and thank you for the share. Thank you for bringing what is Out There Live TV, the opportunity to bring your life story of the everyday people into the everyday people's lives. It's been very beautiful. Sian Faire, thank you for the deep dive.
Thank you.
And there it is. Sian Elizabeth Faire, her life all round.